Hey everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of the Mike Muldoon Podcast. Thanks for joining me. Great. Here we are. Another week going by, but it's great. A lot of good things are going on. Anyway, I'm going to jump right into it today. I want to talk about this quote my wife sent to me by Vex King. It's a really powerful quote, and I hope it really resonates with you as much as it did with me, especially with everything going on. And again, we're doing this new venture. I've talked about it. It's a bagel coffee shop. My wife, lawyer. I'm a writer. It's like... we're so far removed from that world, but you know what? We're in it, and it seems to be going really good right now. We're really excited. But anyway, every once in a while, still that fear, right? That fear kind of creeps in. I talk about fear a lot because fear is what really holds us back. But here's this quote, and the quote is as follows. It says, "So you're telling me every time you thought you couldn't get through something difficult, and you did, and now you're back here thinking you won't succeed? Trust your track record, my friend." Isn't that powerful? Isn't that so true? Really think about that. Let that sink in for a minute. How many times in your life have you been convinced that you couldn't handle what was in front of you? Maybe it was a breakup, a job loss, a health scare, or a moment when everything felt like it was all just falling apart. It was in those moments, doubt felt louder than hope. Fear shouted over faith, and yet you're still here. You got through it. Maybe you didn't emerge unscathed. Maybe you had to crawl through it. Piece yourself back together. And maybe it took longer than expected, but you made it. And that matters. So, why when a new challenge appears do we suddenly forget how strong we are? Well, the truth is, we have short-term memory when it comes to our own strength. See, it's human nature to fear the unknown. Now, I've often spoke about this in the past. We are wired for the path of least resistance. Our brains are wired for survival, not for risk. So when we're standing at the edge of a new challenge, it really feels unfamiliar. Our inner critic starts, whispering or sometimes even yelling, right? "This is too big. You're not ready. You've never done this before. Stop. Don't pass go. Turn around. Head back." But your past holds the truth. You have done hard things before. You've probably done it over and over again. Your track record proves that when things got tough, you didn't quit. You may have stumbled, cried, paused, doubted yourself, but you didn't give up. Think back. See, that's resilience. There's that word again I often talk about so much. See, that's power. That's you. And this is something that really science backs up. See, research has showed, and I've often spoke about this in the past, that resilience is not just a trait you're born with. It's not some people are born with more resilience than others. It's a skill that you actually develop. There was a study by Dr. Dennis Charney and Dr. Stephen Southwick. I read this article a few years ago. I think it was the Time magazine. I read it. And it's always kind of stayed with me because it really highlighted that resilience involves specific skills such as emotional regulation, optimism, and social support, which can be learned and strengthened over time. Again, resilience is something you're not, it's not like being born with blue eyes. It's something that you develop and you can continually get better at. There was a study, I think it was published in it was a mental health journal that found that basically individuals with higher levels of psychological resilience had 53% lower risk of death over a 12-year period compared to those with lower resilience. For me, it's obvious. It's because you've put yourself through the test. You've been able to overcome things. You're a fighter. And that to me is why you want to, you're sort of be able to extend your life. So the thing is, when you anchor yourself in evidence and not in emotion, and this is what I'm talking about here, right? Don't look at the emotion, look at the evidence, look at the past. When you anchor yourself in evidence and not emotion, when that next big thing threatens to knock you off course, you have to take that time to remember. You have to pause. You have to reflect. You got to go back. What have I overcome in the past that one time I thought I couldn't do? How did I make it through? What strengths did I uncover in myself during that time? Again, Your brain is kind of forgotten how strong you are, but you got to remind yourself and write them down. Speak them out loud. Remind yourself that fear is a story. Your mind is telling you it's not prophecy. The thing is, you don't need blind faith in this. You need memory. You need evidence. You already have the evidence because you've done it before. It doesn't have to be something amazing. It doesn't have to be something remarkable. It doesn't have to be this gigantic thing you overcome. There are things in the past that have knocked you off. If you haven't been knocked off anywhere, then you're obviously not living a life anywhere. You have. Something has happened. And you got through it. So the next time you catch yourself thinking, I can't do this, just replace with, I've done hard things before. I'll get through this too. Remember, remind yourself, your past self is actually cheering for you. And your future self is waiting on the other side. Stronger, wiser, and deeply proud that you didn't let doubt win this time. Trust your track record, my friend. Trust your track record. All right. And that's all I got for you today. I hope you guys are having a great week. Hope you're having a great weekend. And as always, I got nothing but love for you.